Hi guys, again I'm Tryke Gutierrez, the CEO and co-founder of Tier One Entertainment. We're an entertainment and esports company in Asia. We're in Southeast Asia and in Japan. And I created this podcast called More Than Just Games because people always think that I just play games at the office and that's it. But that's not really the case. So I'm here to talk about business with other people who have been successful in the business. And today we have a very exciting guest. We have Todor. You can introduce yourself, man.
Hey guys, my name is Todor, as Trike already said, Todor Minev. People call me Bad Toro. I have a pretty sort of glim gray history. This is probably why. Right now, I'm trying to stay as white hat as possible, and I'm very passionate about crypto, Web3, and I guess today me and Trike are going to be talking about the latest project that I'm really passionate about. Other than that, I have a pretty big and successful Amazon agency. We do a turnover of over $130 million a year. That's only on Amazon, selling all kinds of goods from sex toys to the washing detergents to dog treats, you name it. This is what we've been doing for the last 12 years. And yeah, it's this. I'm involved in so much stuff, bro, that I don't even know where
I
to start.
know. I know.
I got a gold mining business. I got a crypto mining business. We got this and that. But yeah, let's talk about the cooler stuff today.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yes.
that's me.
So just a short history of like how we met. So we have a common friend, Jay. And Jay, shout out to Jay. He's one of the super cool friends I know. My super oppa
Love you,
friend.
Jay.
Yeah, we love you, man. Like I met him last year in the Korean blockchain week, and it was my first time going into the Web3 events. And what I learned about Web3, at least last year, was it was a lot of drinking. It was
Oh
a lot
yeah,
of
bro. All of the industry events are a lot of drinking.
yeah,
Like you got to be
it's a
prepared
lot
for
of
this.
drinking. So like to me, when I went into Web3, I'm like, finally, I can finally use what I learned in college. This is my thing. So I'm back.
Dude,
Like
I feel like a professional at this. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's
Let's
and I didn't learn it in college. I learned it before that.
okay. Oh no, oh no, no. Yeah, but I get it, man. But you know the vibe, right? Like you go into a Web3 event, it doesn't feel like business. It's all drinking, it's all fun. But real businesses happen in these types of moments, and that's the reality of it, right? So like
Absolutely, man.
yeah, like Todor and I met because Jay went to the Philippines. I was there. He brought me to meet Todor, and he's like, let's go into like the fun areas, and eventually we found ourselves together in the back room. So the back room is basically one of the 20 bars or 50 bars, I believe, in Asia, and it's
Wow.
behind it, and it's behind one of the best hotels in the Philippines. And there I brought him and introduced him to one cocktail, which is you can talk about it, man. Like what was the cocktail like? What was the feeling like? So that at least people can tend to like visualize the place
Dude,
themselves.
like to be honest, I don't remember what was in the cocktail because that was like the 20th cocktail for the night. But the
Okay.
most impressive thing was how the cocktail was served, right? So it came in an actual book, like a book that you open. And in the book, you have this little flask, like a metal flask that you like open up and you put in your glass. That was like, I really thought that was super cool. Like
Yeah.
I have a video of you actually opening it up for me and showing me what it's all about. Dude, like we can share this on the
Yeah,
podcast so
we
they see
should.
it.
We should.
But it's super cool. You open it up, you get the flask out, and the cocktail was, I mean, the bar itself was amazing. Like, I have to say that in the Philippines, I wasn't amazed by all the bars that I went to, but this particular bar was like, oh, wow. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? This place looks amazing. So I really loved it. The cocktails, everything was top notch. It was like being in like a 5-star bar in like top places in the world for sure. Amazing bar. What is it called? Backroom,
Back room, back room. So
guys. You got to go check it out. If you haven't
A-
checked it out yet, definitely a must if you're in the Philippines.
And we're not advertisers of that. This is not a
No,
paid
no, no,
content
we're
or
not.
whatever.
It's
This
just
is
so
all
good that I
organic,
want to
all
say it.
organic.
I want to say it. It's just so goddamn good. I want to say how good it is.
So like let's talk about like drinking, because before I get into business, I want to talk about drinking because before we got into a call, I asked him, "Are you in a palace of some sort?" Because like there's bricks there. It's like the lighting is so crazy. Like I feel like it's either in Disneyland or inside a set of Game of Thrones, or probably in a real palace somewhere in wherever. So
It
like
ain't a palace, bro. This is my content creation studio in Sofia, Bulgaria. So should I
okay,
twist the
yes,
camera a little
you
bit? Should
should
I
show
show them? All
it,
right.
show it, show
All
it.
right. So here's my Harley Davidson Fat Bob motorcycle right there.
Inside your
There's
studio.
like we have a full scale bar right here that you can see. This, by the way, this couch is super
Mhm.
cool. This is like a real Chesterfield couch from the 1950s,
Wow.
made in the UK. Meta
Okay.
Savages, $100 bills, Biggie, 2-pack. What else do you need, man?
The, it's
That's what it's
amazing.
all about.
Yeah, like that I mean, I am a personal believer of how important the vibe is when you want to
Oh, for
create
sure,
content.
bro. For
You know what I
sure.
mean, right? I feel like creativity will only come out if you are inspired by the things that you see and by the things that you talk about, or the people around you inspire you, because I feel like creativity comes from a point of inspiration, right? And I think when you're
Absolutely.
there, like all the inspiration is there. It kind of like shows your personality already. Like, like the bike, the drinking, rap, like
You
history when
have
it
to
comes to
build it,
furniture.
man.
You got to build it. So can you talk about the process of like thinking about your whole, like realm first there, your grail?
So for me, like the corporate culture and everything that we try to build is this is a part of it. Like I
Hmm.
have this and I have another office which is more like in the center of Sofia, which is also built out in a way like this, in a way that people like to spend more time in the office than they do like to spend in their own home. I want to
Hmm.
create an environment wherever the people come and have fun. We can have like we play games. We've got like a table tennis here. We got all these Nerf guns. We do like Monday Nerf battles. So we go around and shoot each other around the office. And we just do crazy things like that because this is what makes your team feel like an actual family. Like what I was amazed by whenever I interviewed the Blacklist team, whenever we were
Hmm.
in Philippine Blockchain Week, is that your guys actually they live together. They live together, they eat together. This is the whole thing that I want to create here. Well, obviously, I'm not going to build a dorm because I have like I've got like 50 people working for us here. But I want to create this whole family feeling. We have a big table. All of us sit down. We eat together. Whenever it's Friday, we all have a drink before we head out. We celebrate our birthdays, in this studio and stuff like that. So it's like building the whole thing so that people feel as part of the same thing. I like to use the analogy of a pirate ship. We're a
Hmm.
fucking ship. I'm the captain, but everybody else's spot is as important as mine.
Yes.
If
Yes.
everybody needs to be feeling as though they own their little spot and that's how we're going to get this pirate ship going. This is how we're going to plunder some gold, and this is how we're going to have all gold to continue developing and continue moving forward. So subculture is very important.
I,
Subculture is very important.
I totally believe in that, because I feel like in terms of like the corporate structure and the corporate environment, once everything is set, the titles are what technically dictates the power and the chain of command. But when you're in a startup environment and when you're in a culture where there is passion, where there is goals bigger than money, right? Especially talking about Web3, you really need to be able to have a culture of belongingness and a certain
Exactly.
culture and a certain culture that influences people, that when they come in into the office, when they come in into this organism of a company, you tend to feel like you're part of it. And there's no need for a work life balance if you don't feel like you're working, but you're working.
Exactly. If you're having fun, you're not working. It's just spending time with people that you like and doing stuff that you like. This is what it is. And this is what I'm trying to, I've been trying to preach that. And you know what? The biggest problem that I've had is hiring people with like a victim mentality. This is the
Mhm.
only thing that I'm trying to steer away from, because you know, whenever you have like a whole environment of people that are ready to do everything, all you need to get is like one victim that is going to start poisoning the whole thing. So this is the one thing that you really need to look out for. And because I have this like family bringing in the whole mentality for my company is like a big family, it's very hard for me to basically get anybody to go. But I've tried, and I'm getting better at this right now. I'm trying to sort of pinpoint these weak links that can destroy the whole company. And I'm just telling myself that I'm doing it for the good of the team. Is just like letting these people go at an early stage, because otherwise they might end up poisoning like a whole sort of micro organism that's part of this whole structure. So
I
this is
don't
the one thing that,
I totally agree with that, man. Like for
yeah,
me, I was the same thing. When we were a startup, like literally when we were starting out, we were literally living in one place, or at least in the proximity with one another, and literally dining, doing everything. So once we started growing, right? Like I think the challenges of the company became different, and people need to keep up with the speed of the company. We can't wait for every person to learn. We can't wait for every person to upskill, because the company already needed those new skills, and that's why we needed to hire from outside. And I think being able to have a balancing act on the people who came with you first, and having these
yeah,
new people who are bringing in the new skill sets and the new learnings are very complicated. And I hear you, because I've branded Tier One as a one fam in a way, because I
yeah,
believe in the values of family in a business. However, there's this really really big thought in the corporate world, where you don't have to treat your company as, or company members as family, because with family you can let them go and all that. But I think of it differently. The way I think about it is, you are a family as a company, but there is an obligation to the family. You know what I mean? Where
yep,
if you don't fulfill those obligations, you can still be part of us, but maybe not part of the company. Maybe once we terminate these people, if or maybe if they choose a certain path that's different from ours, then it shouldn't stop the relationship if you were truly a family. You know what I mean? And
yep.
that's why I still accommodate like the people who left us after like joining the company before, to just be part of the other extracurricular activities, right? So I think going into this, let's talk about the Web3 community, because in Web3, a lot of people talk about community. A lot of people talk about that is a very tight knit group, right? But we all know, like after being there, that it's a small group, yes, but there are like small groups within the small groups. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, to you, when you pick people to work with in Web3, like, what's your thought process like? What kind of like thinking do you go through when finding a partner or like someone to work with?
So, dude, to me, it's not about Web3 people. It's to me, it's like people overall, you
Yes.
know? And let's go back to the drinking a little bit. So, because
Okay, I
this
like
is
that.
this is very important for me,
Okay.
because in order for me to be able to work with somebody, I really need to feel the vibe, man. Like I really need to be able to say, hey, you know what? Hold on, let me tell you this. I think I told it to you whenever we were in the Philippines, but in Bulgaria we have this saying that goes like, sick donkeys sniff each other out and they hang out together,
Okay.
meaning that all like the degenerates that love drinking and love partying and love hanging out, like they find each other wherever they are. So if I go into a bar, bro, I would be like, I go into the bar, there could be 50 people in the bar. I look at somebody, just on the other side, I'll be like, yep, you and me gonna be friends, man. I see you, you know. So this is the kind of vibe that I got. Like whenever I saw you, whenever I saw Jay, whenever I saw fucking James Afante, I'm like, this
Yeah.
boy is a sick donkey, like he's very young, but we're gonna make a sick donkey out of him yet. So to me, it's very important to have the same vibe. I don't like people that are too into business, like too much into the business, not as much into actually hanging out and feeling each other's vibes. So to me, it's very important that we get to feel each other's vibe and that we like each other. Like I only work with like-minded people. There's people that come on to me which are very transactional. They want something, to get from me, or they want to offer me something. To me, this is always a red flag. I'm like, if we're not gonna get drunk together, if we don't have fun, if we don't have fun drinking and hanging out, dude, I don't want to do business with you. To me, that's crazy. And going back to like going to all these events that you were mentioning in the beginning. The events are a lot of drinking. I speak at a lot of events. I speak at Affiliate World. I speak at Traffic Summit. I speak at Geek Out. I speak at Kinza. I spoke at Philippine Blockchain Week. Like I speak at about 5 or 6, maybe even up to like 8 to 10 events a year. All of these events are like 1 hour of speaking, 72 hours of drinking. That's how the time there goes. But these events are where like my best friends and the people that I hang out with are, because my best friends are not the people that I grew up with, is the people that I'm actually working with right now, the people that are helping me develop whatever I'm working with. So to me, you really need to be prepared, because I see people going to these events and they're like, oh, no, I don't drink. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here, man? Like, you're not gonna get any traction here, bro. Like, if you're not drinking, then you better go home. Don't bother coming to these events, because this is how this networking thing happens, Like, what story would have we had, me and you, if we never went to this fucking bar, bro?
That's
I
true.
met this really cool guy. We talked a little bit about business, and then I don't know. That's it. Now we went there. We got wasted. We got into your blank van. We went to another place. We played pool. We played the beer pong, and that's how memories are made, and memories are what keeps you going with the people. So this is how I became a partner with Jay. We are now partnering with James Afante, just because we get to hang out and do stuff together. This is whenever the business relationships start developing as well, because this is our mindset. See, me and you, we are sick donkeys. We go and get drunk, but we're also thinking, it's always business up here, So if you like having fun with somebody, the next sort of natural thing is to do something with them in terms of business, in order to keep that relationship close and going, So to me, this is the answer to the whole Web3 thing, like they try to hang out together. They try to sort of like build these Discord groups and stuff like that. But to me, it's very important. The community is built on a real relationship, and real relationships, unfortunately, for the good or the bad, are based on boom,
Don
booze.
Papa.
Don't pop up booze.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
mean,
you gotta.
I totally agree with you, because I mean, I came from one of the colleges who actually has a lot of parties, because we call it actually Top Thursdays, because for some really good reason our school decided to do classes just from Mondays to Thursdays. So maybe with the idea of like they'll have more free time from Fridays to Sundays, because they don't want to stress us out, or I don't know. But of course, every kid's idea was it's time to drink from Thursday to Saturday, so
Oh
because you
yeah,
have more than enough time. So that whole tough Thursday kind of like thing started with my batch in my school, in my university. So like from there, that's when I really realized the value of drinking, because at the end of the day, it's socializing. That's one. Second, it's being able to know how to converse, share valuable stories for the table you're in,
yep,
because that sometimes is the problem. Like, right, for people who haven't been to like socializing activities like this, right? Like it needs to be an understanding of, you need to be able to bring a certain value to the table. If you're out there just laughing, that's cool too. But if you can talk about a story, or share something laughable, or like share something like really cool, like that adds to the whole atmosphere of the group.
that's it,
You know what I
man.
mean? And I think
That's it.
that natural intuition of having that is important. That's two. And I think number three, I believe this. Really, really, like, I feel like when you're drinking, you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable to other people, even though you just met them,
Exactly.
because you can get drunk, you can get wasted, you can look
Yeah.
crazy, you'll do crazy things. So like, to me, when you start off a relationship with a certain vulnerability because you got wasted together, then
Yep.
after that everything becomes so much easier, because you've seen each other drunk. You know what I mean? So
That's
it,
it,
it
man.
kind of like make things easier.
and it builds stories. It builds
Yes,
those stories that it's like, oh my God, remember Tryke? He spilled the drink on this guy. So all of these stories just bring you together. It's a thing that you laugh about next time that you meet each other. It's just things that bring people together, and it's very important for me. These stories are the most important thing. Sharing these kinds of stories together gets you closer, and it's much more easier to advance this relationship into a business relationship or to whatever is going to come. Like once you've opened up, as you said, in like a vulnerable setting, you've both seen like the other guy that nobody's perfect. You guys get wasted together, and it's like, fuck it, let's do some business together, you know?
that's true.
So yeah.
Actually, one interesting thing about Jay also. So, like Jay is a common friend of ours. He brought me to this really, really great Sangyup place. I'm not sure if he brought you there, but it's a Korean barbecue place because I like Korean barbecue. So
What, in the Philippines or in
in Korea,
Korea?
in Korea, in Korea,
No, no, no. I hadn't gone with him there. No.
you should go because I mean I'm gonna spoil it, but he brought me there because apparently it's a very rich history where I think 20, 30 years ago they were a very small sangyup place, but they kept the recipe since then. So like it
All
has a
right.
very unique recipe and like taste of a certain Korean barbecue. And that really like brought us together. So outside of drinking, sometimes it's eating. For some people, it's golf. For some people,
Oh,
it's sports. Whatever it is. Like I feel like hobbies in general is a good start in building relationships. And with relationships, then eventually trust. And then with trust comes business.
I would just say that the drinking is the shortest path to
Yes.
becoming,
Yes.
yeah. Because golf, you might end up playing golf for like 3 years before you have any significant stories to share. With
That's
drinking
true.
one night out, and you're already like, oh my God.
One of my friends from Hong Kong called drinking as a social lubricant, which is true. I truly agree that it's a social lubricant, right? So like
Absolutely.
going into this conversation, like what are you working on now in Web3?
Okay. So right now we're building a project which is actually changing its name right now. It started as Meta Savages, but right now it's sort of moving towards a more like Meta Vegas title. What we're building right now is we're actually building a Web3 game, a triple A game where you would be able to walk around this huge island, which is based on adult entertainment, predominantly casinos. We're going to have a huge casino strip with
Mhm.
more than 20 casinos that are going to be actual real casino game providers from the real world. For instance,
Oh
now, whenever
wow.
I was in the Philippines, I met with M88. I don't know if you know these
Yes,
guys.
yes, 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 yes.
Mansion 88. Yeah, they are probably going to end up being like one of our biggest casinos providers in that. We're going to be able to open up. So all of these casinos are going to have their own sort of feeling, like one of them might be a pyramid, the other one would be a castle, the other one would be like a Casino Royale from Monte Carlo. So every casino will have its own style, will have its own games within, will have its own like entertainment, different entertainment types. Like we're gonna have like concerts, we're gonna have like art galleries within the casinos. So we're
Wow.
just building this triple A environment. We're building it on Unreal 5, where people are going to be able to come and spend time. And the reason why I think this is going to be a huge winner for everybody is because the online gambling market is just being so left out for the last sort of 10 years. They haven't developed anything new. All you
Mhm.
can do is there's a 2D screen where it's like a single player environment. You play against the house. The craziest and most innovative thing they've brought for the last 5 years is having a real life person like spin the wheel or something or deal the cards, which is super stupid because you don't get any interaction with this person. It's just like watching the camera, somebody dealing cards. So first of all, what we're bringing to this platform is the multiplayer element. So you're in the Philippines right now. I'm in Bulgaria. Jay's in Korea. We can hook up. We can go and play roulette. We can go sit on the same table. We are actually going to have live dealers. We are experimenting with an AI technology for like you put two cameras, as simple as iPhone 8 cameras, and they do a motion capture of your whole body. They put a skeleton, they track every movement of your face, every blink, every mouth movement. And the dealers are going to have live interactions with their body language and everything around the tables within the casino. So it's a much more sort of social place where you get in there, you talk, you interact, you play the games. And the other thing that we want to bring in from the more of the video gaming world is we want to have like a status boost. So whenever you come in, same as Fortnite, same as Call of Duty, you come in, you play, you win prizes, you get like unique items to put on your avatars. Like let's say you go over $100,000 of spend in a casino, you get like a golden crown that you can wear on your head, and everybody else sees that he's like, oh my God, he's the shit. This guy's like a high roller. He's been here for a while. Or we have this idea, we have these slot machines where we actually, the cool thing about the slot machines that we're actually integrating the best existing slot machines through API. So let's say there's like a game provider called Pragmatic. They have all the top slot machines. We just integrate them in our metaverse. You see the display of the slot machine, and everything runs on the back end in their at their sort of servers. So let's say you hit the jackpot. If you hit the jackpot, you immediately get like a glowing jacket with dollar signs, so you can walk around the casino. You can do like your Conor McGregor walk, and everybody sees that you just hit the jackpot, you know? Or like if you hit like red or black, let's say 5 times in a row on the roulette table, wherever you walk, you leave like fiery footsteps, so everybody else knows that you're on fire. They can go follow you and like play with you.
Oh my God.
And it's just like creating a really gamified environment where people can go interact, meet other people. Of course, you know that girls and gambling go together very well. So we're going to have like all kinds of social interactions for people to go inside, meet other people and stuff like that. And the coolest thing is that the game that we're building is not an installable game. We're actually streaming it through Amazon Web Services. We are streaming it so anybody with a device like an iPhone 5 can actually log in and get streamed 2 seconds after that. They get like the AAA visuals of a stunning Unreal 5 game, and they just need good internet and a device with a display. So everybody will be able to play it, no installments, because otherwise they'll need to download an app that's like 40 gigabytes in order to enjoy the graphics. And yeah, that's what
I think that's amazing. First of all, here's what I want to say, right? Like I've played a lot of games in my life, and obviously like with gaming, especially multiplayer online, whether it's World of Warcraft or like whatever game it is. The fact that you can meet people online, you can walk, you can interact, chat, like come across someone foreign with a certain interactiveness to it is really the power of what gaming is. And I think
absolutely, man.
bring that to casinos where it's more palatable, it's easier to understand, then the regular people who don't play games can then fully experience the metaverse. Because I feel like people talk about the metaverse a lot, but the problem with the metaverse is what's the utility? Like, what will you go? Why will you go there? What's the point, right? But if we're talking about games, that has already created a metaverse in itself way before, where I'm someone from Japan or the Philippines or Singapore or wherever, and then I can play with someone from another geography, and it brought the world to a flat environment because it's online. So I feel like casinos with Vegas and Macau and eventually like the Philippines is doing a lot of like gambling casinos also. I feel like that is a whole entertainment experience in itself. So if you bring that to the digital world, I mean, I don't know what the regulation will be like, but it's going to be an experience on its own. You know what I mean? And I think there is a future to that because one, there's utility, second, there's entertainment, and the social aspect of it is, I think, is
That
going
is
to get a
it.
big, right?
That is the key. That is the key. The social aspect of it and the dopamine spikes of people actually showcasing the fact that they're a big deal. This is the coolest thing out of everything. Like everybody wants to show off. I want to show off. You want to show off. We all want to show off that we know what we're doing. So people pay money. Like buying a Louis Vuitton like shirt is showing off. A Louis Vuitton bag is showing off. All of this, the whole world is going on to this trend right now. And if you're able to show yourself off in a way like in a metaverse setting where you're actually interacting with people from all around the world, people are going to want to do that. And we're trying to provide different ways of entertaining them while they're in the system. So for instance, there's something cool that we're thinking about. So whenever you level up, let's say you become a high roller, so we, of course, we're going to treat like the higher rollers differently. They'll be having access to VIP tables. And at some point, I think we're going to enroll them, like they would be able to enroll for like food delivery service. So let's say
Oh,
you spend 3 hours gambling, and then like ding dong on your door, you get the bell, and there's like, hey, Mr. Kobayashi, here's like your favorite sushi. We've just delivered your favorite sushi to your door. Like, so we're trying to bridge the experiences that like Las Vegas is providing for its customers, because it's huge. This is why this whole thing is happening. And the fact that it hasn't been bridged yet. Do you know that the average time spent on an online casino is only 30 minutes, and the time spent in a land-based casino is 4 hours? So
mhm.
nobody's bridged that. This is what we're aiming to do with the project that we're working on. We want to bring this closer, and by providing social status and social interactions, we think that's my bet that this is going to be the key to that. If we bring them from half an hour to 45 minutes, this is going to be a huge win for everybody.
Yeah, I feel like you're gamifying and making casinos online. And I think
Yeah,
with a certain level of experience and interaction. And I think that's innovation, right? Like, I truly believe that there is always room for innovation, and innovation will always attract a certain new group of audience that it never attracted. I mean, you look at, like social media, like YouTube, what it is today, and
yeah,
imagine what TV was before. Like, nobody expected that will happen. Amazon in itself is an innovation in itself, right? Like, nobody expected that nobody would go to malls anymore because everything is already available on Amazon, right? So like that happening in the next 2 to 3 years with like the development of crypto, some banks folding, and then all of these things, and all of the people now are online savvy because the pandemic just taught us to be online. We had no choice, right? So I think it's kind of like a perfect storm for a project like this. Obviously,
absolutely.
there needs to be a lot of work to be done on the technological side, but I think if you figure that out, that's going to be an interesting development.
Dude, we're ready. I can send you a link so
Yeah.
you can actually test it, bro. We're very close to launching the MVP. Like it's I'll send you some videos after this, and I'll send you the link so you can test it. But another interesting thing that I wanted to tell you is how because we were talking about the Web3 communities and how we want to bridge this towards the already developed Web3 communities is, so for instance, right now we're developing board apes avatars. So it's
In
going to be like
the metaverse, and then they can wear a mask or something.
exactly, no. So it's going to be like come and claim your free avatar. So if you're a BAYC holder, you come
Mhm.
in, you show us your board apes NFT, and we build you an avatar which is one to one with
Wow.
this that you can use in our system. So I'm already doing this for Jabe's board ape. It's got to be ready. So based on that, we can multiply the board ape and just like add on the different sort of styles and features that the apes have, and have it ready for them. Like, you give us your NFT, we validate it, and 24 hours later we give you your own avatar that you can use, and you can showcase the fact that you are a BAYC holder. So
Amazing,
this is a
amazing.
way for us to attract this community. And what I'm expecting is whenever they come into the setting that we've built out, they're not going to just drink like digital Mai Tais. They're probably going to go in and experience the games. They might not be all gamblers, but they'll probably go and spend some money gambling in the different casinos environments that we're building for them.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, I've been to Las Vegas, been to Macau. I feel like there's two aspects of the experience that's very important, especially in this project, like that you have. I think for one, it's the experience, the user experience of it being social. Like I met a lot of friends just playing blackjack for like 2 3 hours. I mean, I don't even remember how much I lost or earned, but I remember all the conversations we had drinking while playing, like cards in Vegas. On another part, I think it's the social status aspect. Like you're super right. Everybody wants to show off in one way or form, because fashion is presentation. Whatever non-fashion you have is still presentation. Like the point is, everybody has a certain presentation for themselves, whether it's low-key or extravagant. Like whatever you wear, whatever you do, it's a way of presenting yourself to the community and to the public, right? So
Absolutely, man.
yeah, so I feel like having that aspect as avatars, like integrating that board ape social status into that's more utility for the holders of that premium NFTs to be able to go into a metaverse and say, I actually own this. You know what I mean? And I
Exactly.
and I think that's gonna help a lot.
Showcase. Now, right now, everybody's putting their board ape on their Instagram account, you
Twitter,
know?
Instagram.
Yeah, but now if you're able to actually be this ape and like walk around with your own board ape, that's that brings a lot more value to it. So you're gonna want to go in and showcase that you're a big deal, you know?
Agree. I think this is a question I want to ask, right? Like, obviously,
Hmm.
your success came from Web 2. You mentioned you've built a company around Amazon, which is already super successful. Like, why make that jump? What made you decide to make that jump?
So first of all, the Amazon agency, I am more of a brand builder rather than like running an agency business. Agency business is not exactly my forte, like I did it because like I had a a story where Amazon shut down all of my accounts. They basically ruined me to the ground. I was making like 400K a month back then, and they just shut down everything because I got into an intellectual property lawsuit with Procter and Gamble. I was selling toothbrush heads
Mm-hmm.
back in the days. So they shut me down, and I had to restart everything. I didn't want to lose my whole team. So this is when I opened it up as an agency. And then the agency became super successful, but it's never been something that I love doing. And by developing this agency, we grew the agency, we created a lot of SOPs, I streamlined the whole business. So I'm not involved into the day-to-day running of the agency. I'm a very creative guy, so I wanted to create something that's like visually stunning. And like being involved into games myself all my life, I checked out like everything, like Decentraland Sandbox, and I was like, this can't be it. This is not what a metaverse should be looking like. I can't spend more than 10 minutes in that because it's super laggy. It doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good. I want to create something. I want to create a GTA environment, which is super flashy,
Yes.
super cool, where I can go and experience some sort of entertainment. And to me, the first thing that came to mind is, holy shit, like this whole gambling aspect of these Web 2 casinos is so bad. There's so much room for improvement there. Let's just do that. Let's do a GTA where you can go and gamble with your actual crypto, because we are going to be a strictly like crypto based casino. All the casino providers are going to be dealing in crypto. So that's how we're going to run this. So let's just bridge these three worlds: gambling, crypto, Web3 gaming in a AAA environment, and see what happens. Well, am I willing to bet like my money that this is going to work? It is, and I've bet my money. I've been bootstrapping this thing. Right now, we're open for funding, but I've been bootstrapping it for more than a year, hired a whole team. I snatched a lot of people from the gaming industry. We have a lot of offices here in Bulgaria for like Ubisoft, Game Loft, the big game development studios. So I snatched some key people that are really good at, developing Unreal 5 elements and stuff like that. So this is how I got into it. This is why I decided it would be a good idea, and this is where we're going with this. And I think that we're gonna do something big with this, man. Like I just had a conversation before the podcast with you. I had Binance Labs on a call. They're interested in investing into the project, so we'll see what happens.
For me, like this is what I can say, right? Like for you to have a certain level of success in whatever you did before, I think that's already proof that you're capable of building something. And I think we need more builders in Web3, right? Add the passion that you have in whatever you're doing today, plus the creativity, your social skills and all that. I think this is something that can really develop to become a super product, because I mean, I feel your passion. We're miles away, but I feel your passion
Dude,
towards your project.
I'm very passionate about it. And you know what? The craziest thing is, bro, is like that not only me, I guess it's it's me that's sort of burning with this fire, but the team, I go in like, let's say I go in Sunday, I go to the office because for me there's no days off. Like I'm either traveling or when I'm here, I'm constantly in either one office or the other. I go, I do stuff. I can't relax. I've got this whole fire thing in me that I can't stop. And I go into the other office, let's say, and Sunday, I go in there and I see three of the developers on their desks, like programming. I'm like, guys, what the fuck are you doing here? It's Sunday. And they're like, oh my God, we just came up with this crazy concept for the casino and like developing this game where we couldn't wait. We had to come and try it out, you know? So not only me, the whole team is so passionate about creating this thing. And this is why usually projects fall like behind schedule. Our project is moving ahead of schedule just because everybody involved in it is so passionate about it. They stay in the office till like 12 o'clock till midnight. They come on Sundays, they come on Saturdays, just because they want to see like what they're building and how it sort of turns out. So it's super crazy. I mean, passion could be such a powerful force for anything. You know, you can build like wonders based on passion itself.
I totally agree with that, and I think because by the end of because we are running out of time. I think before we end, this is where I want to go, right? Like after like conversing with you for almost like 40 minutes outside of your project, passion drinking and all that. This is something I truly believe in, that if you are a leader of a company, an organization, a startup, a group, or whatever it is, right? There needs to be a certain level of stubbornness and charisma so that you can attract people to follow your vision and to be able to build something together. And I think leadership is such an important aspect in building great things today, because a lot of people talk about great ideas and they will say after 2, 3 years that I thought of that. You know, I hear that a lot. Like I thought of Facebook, I thought of
Yeah.
YouTube, I thought of this and
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but thinking is free. Implementation has a lot of cost. It has a lot of sacrifice. And like what you mentioned,
Execution.
execution. You mentioned you don't have weekends. You get to have these people follow your vision, and they're working on a Sunday. That's the charismatic aspect of a leader. I think that's is very important. Having the empathy to be able to understand where they're coming from. I feel like these soft skills are very important, and I want you to talk more about that. Like, what is a leader for you? Like, how did you develop to become this type of a leader?
100%, bro. I agree with you. And so, leadership skills, I don't believe that's a skill set that you develop. I think that you're more or less born with it.
Born.
You're either born with it, it comes from the way that you're raised, it comes from the way that you've lived in your young years. It's a part of like, so here's my story. I was born in one of the, let's call them worst neighborhoods in Sofia. I mean, Sofia is a, ex-communist country. I was born in the communist era. We didn't have nothing. We didn't have toys. We didn't have like my best and most prized possession whenever I was a kid was a can from Coke, not a can of Coke. We didn't get those. It was a
Mm-hmm.
can of Coke that somebody brought to Bulgaria from somewhere. So everything that I've had to get to, I've had to really fight for it, and I've had to struggle with getting out of this whole sort of framework of an underdog and getting out of it. And I think that this whole thing makes you, as your personality, it sort of builds up your personality to be somebody who fights for things, somebody who's prepared to go all the way for things. And these are usually people that you would follow. So I've had my leaders growing up. I've had like my sort of role models. Unfortunately, they weren't the best role models to have after there was a lot of crime in Bulgaria whenever I was growing up. So my role models were the people that had the money. And the people that had the money were not the smart people that went to university in Bulgaria. It were the people that were smart enough, street smart, and knowing how to like flip this or that, hustle and make money. So, I had these role models growing up. But at some point, I sort of decided that, it's not going to be like, I'm not going to go into this direction and like continue making money, like hustling and just being like somebody that makes a deal from this and that. I thought that I'm going to build a sustainable business and I'm going to bring the people with me. But the skill set that I developed, like hustling and growing up in a place like this, is what gave me the ability to sort of, as you said, compassion, like knowing where your people are coming from, having this whole family mentality about building your team. And I don't know, I guess like the charisma is something that's really built into you. It's not developable. You can't develop charisma. As much as you try, you maybe can get to some point, but it's you either have it or you don't. Like, it's who you are. But the other stuff, like understanding where your people are coming from, being able to motivate them, being able to deliver your goals to their ideas and making them their own goals. This is like what you should really learn. Like, you should, if you don't have this, this is something that you could develop. How to sort of get the people to sort of believe in your vision and ideas. And I think that this is something that me and you know very well, because I've seen your guys, I've seen the way that they talk about you. You have the same thing going. I mean, people are ready to go to war for you. And this is the most important thing, man. This is what it's all about. Having these people, you being the captain of the ship, and them being happy as hell that they're part of this crew and giving it all the way to take this ship for where it needs to get in order for you guys to win together.
Agree. I think what I can say is that there is a lot of responsibility that comes with it. Obviously, like
Of course.
after you've listened to all this podcast, it seems like we're always having fun and all, but there are real challenges to being a leader as well. Like having a certain toll in terms of where this whole ship or fleet are going is very important, and that's on you. Being able to have a certain responsibility that every livelihood who is at stake for every decision that you make, that's on you. So like all of this resilience, all of these other attributes that you need to have as a leader, it really is very important in how big of a vision you have, right? I
Absolutely,
think
man.
vision is one thing, implementation is a second thing, but sacrifice is a third thing, right? Like, what are you willing to sacrifice to achieve your vision? How much time can you sacrifice to do all the implementation, or at least like get people to do the implementation with you? So I think all of these things are hard to teach, but hopefully, like in this whole conversation that I had with Todor, like you got kind of like a feel of how leaders feel and think, and how we really encourage people around us to follow a certain vision. And for you, you have two great visions in your life today. Like for one, it's the success on your Web2 business. The other one is your current business. And I wish nothing but the best for you, man. I hope we meet each other again. Any
We
message for
will, bro.
everyone out there? Every message for anyone out there?
Whatever it is, guys, keep on building. This is what it's all about. And keep on building the community, because it doesn't matter if it's Web3 or Web2. Even for
Yes.
my Web2 businesses, the community is the most important thing. This is what is going to get you. One very important message here is, again, network. Your network is your net worth. Businesses come and go. People that you meet along the way, like me meeting Tryke here. Tomorrow, I might not have the agency anymore. Maybe the whole Meta Savages or Meta Vegas business doesn't take off, but I have him in my portfolio. I can call him up and say, hey, Tryke, I got this crazy idea, man. I got this business in my head. Let's do it. And as long as you have the people that can back you up, this is what you need. So keep on building your network. Go to events. This is very important. There's a lot of drinking, as we said. Be prepared for that. But these events are what is going to actually change and build your network. So events are super important. I met Tryke in an event. I met a lot of people at events. So never stop traveling and going to your industry specific events. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. There's hundreds of events for every industry. So this would be my advice for people who are like wondering where to go next or what to start. My advice is start building that network of like-minded people and people that are already building what you're hoping to build one day.
1000%. So again, this is Tryke Gutierrez. Thank you very much for listening. Again, he said everything already. I wouldn't have anything to add to that, but just be authentic also. I guess that's all I can say. I mean, when you go to
Absolutely.
events like this, if you're thinking to just meet people out of transactional points, then what's the point, right? Like at the end of the day, business is one thing, but meeting people is really about having those memorable moments and keeping them with you in the journey as you go through life. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening and see you in the next podcast. Cheers.